Hey folks, it's Andrew from Gemba Red, and today we're looking at the NovoThor bed. It's got a simple control panel here just to set the time and turn it off. It lets the user control it themselves. There's a fan over here at one end, and then you've got the whole bed. It's kind of a concave design, like a clamshell design, so you kind of go in there and lay down. Here we take a peek underneath. You can kind of see the little LEDs. They've got 660 and 850 nanometer LEDs. So we're trying to take a little peek and see all the rows of LEDs underneath there. But then it's through this milky white diffuser, so it kind of diffuses all the light. So it's kind of like, we can imagine more of like a wider beam angle due to the diffusion. Then basically you close it yourself once you get inside, and you start it running while you're inside there. So just a little flicker warning, there's going to be some flickering and flashing because it does have a lot of flicker, and the camera kind of picks up on that and gets a lot of flashing. You see there's fans up on the top that keeps the LEDs cool. And now we've got all my measurements lined up before turning it on so we can see the baseline. EMFs are all very low except for the radio frequency because it's inside a facility that has a lot of Wi-Fi and cell phones and stuff. So, but we've got, intensity meters, different spectrometers, and a flicker meter. So we're going to try to do all these measurements in just 12 minutes. So we can just kind of get started there. We press the on button. And there we go, it lights up. Like I said, it's got some flashing and flickering, but I can adjust the settings on the camera to get rid of that flashing. So here I adjusted the camera, so it looks continuous even though, I'm tricking the camera to make it not flash at us. So the electric field is surprisingly low. We've got a grounded electric field meter. The magnetic field is much higher, about 38, about 39, so that's a pretty high magnetic field. We turn on the Radix Lupin. The flicker is obviously very high. It says 87% there. And then we've got the rest of our intensity meters and power meters. We'll see what kind of measurements we can get. So again, the milligauss, this magnetic field EMF is the biggest concern for EMFs, and we'll take that and look around at different areas. So up next to the fan, obviously fans give a pretty high magnetic field, so you probably don't want your head on the fan side. That's usually where your feet would go. But you can even see I put it where you would lay down your head on the opposite end, and it's still up around 37. So it's still very high where you would be laying your head, which is unfortunate. So, and then I'm testing the top panel here. Again, it's still pretty high on the top panel. So we take out the spectrometer, try to do some measurements. It's hard to get kind of a clean measurement with this spectrometer because there's so much flicker. This spectrometer gets kind of wacky. So we're trying to see if we can get a clean measurement. So we see it says about 54 milliwatts per centimeter squared, but like I said, I don't really trust it because of the high peaks of the flicker. The 10 Mars solar power meter, again, it's unfortunate it's not correct. We should plug in these numbers into my solar power meter conversion, which kind of cuts that number in half. So just a quick freeze frame here. We see the power meter is reading about 24, and our laser power meter is reading 17, which after we do the conversion, we get about 22. And so that's in accordance with what they claim on the studies is around 24 milliwatts per centimeter squared. So that all checks out for intensity. So again, the flicker is up there over 80%, so super high flicker. And that's it. That's kind of the overview of the device. We get measurements. We got around 20 to 24 milliwatts per centimeter squared. That's what they disclose in their studies too, and I trust them to measure it right. So again, you don't need a ton of power for full body light therapy. The biggest concerns is high flicker and high EMFs, but that's something they could work on.